space for us. And so later today, I'll be talking a bit about as well the 12th level of intelligence, the avatar matrix, which is really the core fundamental technique that the Guardians facilitate. And this is an understanding of connecting to unity consciousness field. And this is what it looks like. This is sort of help with a visual of creating a personal shield within your own body that protects your aura. From the Guardian perspective, this is important for us to understand, a way of shielding our aura from the bombardment of the changes of energies that are happening on the planet at this time. And so this particular current is a 12 base pulse current. And to the Guardians, this is very important because most of the energies and ray frequencies on the planet that have been controlled through various agendas are using 10th dimensional reversals and below. So when we connect to our 12 base current and understand that the base of creation is a 12 base and not a 10 base, we start to again hold the higher frequency of which the cells of our body can now return into more of a perfected imprint of the original divine blueprint that we were created to be. From the Guardian perspective, our current blueprint on our planet has been hijacked, and that means that our original creational blueprint is distorted. And at this particular time of ascension, we have the chance to now fully move into the higher reality spectrum and clear those distortions and choose a higher expression for our race, for our planet, for our species. And as well, human beings are designed to be the synthesizers of extraterrestrial intelligence. So this means that this is humongous, what's happening on the planet at this time. It's beyond even human and planet Earth consciousness. It's impacting extraterrestrial races. It's impacting the solar fields, the galactic fields, the universal fields. There's a lot of intelligence in there, and it's all happening on the Earth now, and this is of course why the ETs are so interested in us. So briefly, I'm going to talk about what is ascension, which is synonymous with saying what is the 2012 timeline. From the Guardian perspective, this is not a belief system. It's the mechanics behind creation. It's a spiritual science. It's how consciousness moves through a time and space matrix. So again, an understanding that energy is conscious and consciousness is energy. That consciousness holds intelligence. When you start to connect to higher frequencies, to higher energies, there's an intelligence and an energy signature that is present as a consciousness field. And this is again understanding that 12 base pulse rhythm, what that 12 dimensional shield is, and connecting into higher intelligence fields. We learn to start to connect to the cosmic intelligence instead of being operated by the lower intelligence of the ego and the controlled matrices that are a part of the third dimensional planetary system. And this is something that the Guardians are really prompting me and pushing me to speak about today, which I'm going to speak about in a bit. But do you understand when I'm talking about dimensions, dimensional planes, dimensions and timelines are the same. So as I'm going to give you a cosmology to kind of help you understand the basis of this information, it's understanding in the higher frequency we go, the higher dimensional planes we access, we're actually skipping forward in time. And certainly many of us can attest through the ascension process, we feel that time is slipping away. Our relationship to time and space is certainly changing. And this is because of dimensional collapse. When I'm talking about the particle and antiparticle fields, these have existed as dualized forms in simultaneous in-breath and out-breath of source. So it's like understanding everything is modeled in the Trinity. The particle, antiparticle, and then of course the unity, that which is created by the bonding of the masculine, the feminine, and then the creation. So we understand our reality is also modeled in the same way. We have the particle, which is the magnetic feminine. We have the antiparticle, which is the electric masculine, and therefore we are electromagnetic beings. But our bodies experience that electromagnetism as polarity, as duality. So our consciousness is also, in terms of our physical earthly experience, having that same kind of experience as a self. A part of ascension is merging the electromagnetism and creating a third field. And that third field is a non-charged, non-dualized field. And that's what the unity intelligence is. This is what the 12th dimensional field is. This is a part of the divine destiny and blueprint of humankind to transcend duality through our own electromagnetism and become a trion field or a unity field of intelligence. And this is how the Guardians describe the destiny and original blueprint of our race. Now, as humanity is moving into other realities and other dimensions in time during the cycle, this means that timelines, remember that all is existing in simultaneous time. This is where it gets really mind-bending. As we look at a cosmology of the universe and we see multiple layers of dimension, there's a time and space existing and an aspect of our identity, ourself, also existing in that time and space. So again, here in the third dimensional plane, the way we process our reality is linear, most of us. We look at things from a linear perspective. It appears there's a beginning and there's an end. And again, that's the illusion. The field, the architects of the creation of these timelines, understanding that this is a matrix that creates that illusion of time and space. Beyond dimensionalization, beyond these timelines, there is no time. It's all just, again, this primal sound field of undifferentiated God consciousness, the source energy. So we're talking about the timelines, the multiple timelines that are converging with our planet at this time. And so what happens when timelines collapse is certain memories that have been hidden in humanity's evolution start to come to the surface of the mass consciousness fields. And for many of us, we're impacted in ways we don't understand, because even though we may feel the emotion, or we may have certain organic sort of fears or things that come up that feel very primal, we don't always remember that we were witnessing Atlantis and we were part of the Lemurian culture and what happened to us then. We think it's something in our 3D life that is off or creating that particular fear or anxiety. So as these timelines collapse, it means the cellular memory of that timeline, such as, let's say, Atlantis is a great example, starts to come as a field into the larger consciousness field of the planet itself. And then the human being starts to sense, gee, I feel cataclysm. Gee, I feel terrorism. I'm scared. What is that? Where is that coming from? And then, of course, there are external sources that manipulate that seed fear memory in humanity because they know it's there. And this is again from the point of the guardians wanting to share from an informed awareness what is happening now on the planet at this particular timeline as we are now entering the galactic off-planet frequencies. What that means is we're going beyond the solar planes, beyond the 7 solar planes, and we're starting to access galactic, cosmic, universal frequencies that have never been in this density, in this dimension before. This creates, again, wonderful opportunities of consciousness expansion, and at the same time, it can create a lot of confusion when we don't understand what's going on, because there's a lot of beings, there's a lot of entities, there's a lot of agendas, and they're all swirling within the mass consciousness field. So again, claiming dominion over your space, learning how to connect and be inner-sustained with your own God connection is very important at this time so that you're not knocked over by these sort of chaotic forces that we go through during this very intense time of transformation. It's a very exciting time, but it also has the potential of a lot of chaos, and of course we're seeing a tremendous amount of chaos being played out in the global theater around us. And of course it's no accident. So this year, in 2010, from the Guardian perspective,